When I started doing art years ago, I never expected to kind of be in this kind of line of work where I'm doing figurative sculpture and celebrating specific individuals who made great contributions to our country, really. It's been a pleasant surprise to be involved in this kind of thing, because it is the kind of thing that will inspire people to think further about what's happened and how things can be better. A couple of years ago, it was brought to my attention that we did not have an Ida B. Wells tribute in Memphis, and that we started to talk about what that might be, and then interest was put out for a full-size, life-size bronze statue of her that would represent her at the age that she was when she was in Memphis, which would put her in her late 20s, and she was here for a period of around 10 years, not quite that. So the image that we developed needed to be something that showed the clothing of the period that she lived in, and we wanted to represent her as a strong woman. She was an attractive woman, but to try to include something in the sculpture that would make people go, who is this woman? What is she? Why is she here? What does she represent? And so the pose that was developed, since in that day they wore full length skirts, and making an action sort of pose was not going to be appropriate, we decided to use a part of what would be the newspaper that she was the editor of at the time, which was the Free Speech was the name of her newspaper in Memphis, and to show that she was going to write the truth even when it was going to bring up opposition or stir up things. That we put her in a position where she had a hand on her hip and put a pen in that hand that's on the hip. Because she was a journalist and an excellent writer, but she used her words to bring awareness to people and to educate all the community, white, black, everyone in the community, about what was really going on, and to try to find out ways to bring this to a halt. The day it was unveiled, I've had many unveilings of sculptures before, but I've never had an unveiling like this one. There was so much joy in the community, so much celebration. It was just marvelous, actually, to see people who were in public office, the students from various schools who participated in bands to celebrate it. People brought in as speakers from out of town. Most of the sculptures I do are done for a purpose of celebrating somebody, but this one really brought to light that this woman needs to be celebrated for not only what she did in the past, but what she continues to do, what she continues to represent, about truth-telling, about how we treat each other, and how to bring, as she moved on through her life, how to actively bring healing and resolution to some of these problems. And we still have a lot of these problems still. But the day of the celebration, the unveiling, is just a tremendous sense of community, and I can hardly describe it, really. And it wasn't, yes, the sculpture was unveiled and everything, but really the celebration of the idea of Ida, the celebration, which is what it was supposed to do in the first place, is celebrate what she represents. I just hope that people will, I hope that the sculpture will inspire people to think more deeply about how to solve our attitudes toward race. Not only black and white, but Asian and whatever it is, Hispanic, whatever it is. And to, as we become more aware of the disparities and the struggles, to honor each other as fully equal individuals with different cultures. Different cultures is fine. Nothing wrong with different cultures. Nothing wrong with different communities if that's the way things develop. But with mutual respect. And that's what I learned in reading Ida's works, that's what I felt she would have wanted. It wasn't so much about just lifting one group up. It was about recognizing the equality in all and the natural right of everyone to be full and free citizens and have equal rights to excel. So I just hope for that for the future.